Unit 2, Formative 1, Day 1, Intro to Inequalities. Okay, first these are the symbols when we're talking about inequalities. This first one is called the less than symbol. Okay, the way to remember which one's which, the less than looks like kind of like an L if you turn it sideways. So this is the greater than symbol. You need to have these memorized. This should be very easy to read these, so make sure you know. The one with the line underneath means less than or equal to. Okay, so that line means it could be equal to as well. Okay, and then this one, same thing, but greater than or equal to. So I will expect you to have those memorized. You've seen them millions of times. Just remembering which one's which is the only issue. So we got the less than looks like the L, the greater than is the other way. Okay? Alright, so number 1, x is less than 5. We write that in words. Okay, x is less than 5. Alright, so that means any number that is less than 5 is a solution. Okay, so if I want to graph this, what I do, I start with 0. 5 is on this side of 0. I don't have to graph every single point in between. Now, if you notice, this is just less than. This is not less than or equal to. To show that on a graph, we use an open circle. Okay, so open means it's not equal to. And then less than, all the numbers that are less than 5 are to the left. So we just shade over here to the left. So that's how you write or graph it. So you give an x is less than 5, you write it in words, you can graph it. And then the last thing I need to teach you is called interval notation. Okay, interval notation deals with infinities. Positive infinity is over here. Negative infinity is over here. The infinity sign is like a sideways 8. For this one, our answers start at negative infinity and they go up to 5. Now, since it does not equal 5, we use a parenthesis, and it can never equal negative infinity, so we use a parenthesis. So that is called interval notation. Okay, let's try another one. Number 2, m is greater than or equal to negative 3. So you can write that out. M is greater than or equal to negative 3. Equal to is because it has the line underneath. So if I was to graph this, I would start again, I'd put a 0. Negative 3 is on the left of 0. Now to show that it's or equal to, we have to use a closed dot. Okay, greater than, all the numbers that are greater than negative 3 are to the right. So we shade that to the right. Okay, and then our interval notation, our answers start at negative 3 and they go to positive infinity. Okay, it equals negative 3, so we use a bracket. Okay, and it does not equal infinity, so we use a parenthesis. Alright, number 3, 5 is less than x. Okay, so 5 is less than x, so how we would write that, we could write 5, we could write the less than sign, and then an x. Or if you wanted to flip that around and say if 5 is less than x, that means x is greater than 5. Okay, so you have to be able to read that both ways. Because if 5 is less than x, then x is greater than 5. I just flipped it, but when you flip it, you also have to flip the sign. Okay, so when we graph this, you're at 0. 5 is to the right. Since it is not equal to, we use an open circle. Okay, x is greater than 5, so we shade to the right. Okay, if we were to shade from 5 is less than x, we would have to understand that we always want to start by reading with the variable first. So we don't want to say 5 is less than x, we want to say x is greater than 5. Okay, and for interval notation, it starts at 5 and it goes to positive infinity. It does not equal 5, it does not equal infinity. So we use parentheses. Alright, next one. Number 4, p is greater than or equal to 4. So p, greater than sign, is this way, greater than or equal to 4. Okay. We can graph that. Here's 0, here's 4. Since it's or equal to, we used a closed dot. Numbers that are greater than 4 go to the right. Okay, so interval notation, our answers start at 4. They go all the way to infinity. It actually equals 4, so we use a bracket. It does not equal infinity, so we use a parenthesis. Alright, let's keep going. Now, if you're given a graph, you have to be able to go backwards. So if you look, this graph, it shows you an open dot at 1. Okay, we always just use x if we don't know the variable. Okay, well, where are our answers? Are they less than 1 or are they greater than 1? Well, they shaded to the left, so it's less than 1. And because it was an open circle, we know that it's not equal to. So that graph represents x is less than 1. Okay, in our interval notation, it actually goes from negative infinity to 1, and it does not equal either one, so we use parentheses. Okay, last. Negative 4 is where the dot's at. It's a closed dot, which means it's or equal to. And all of our answers are to the right, which means it's greater than negative 4. So x is greater than negative 4. And because it was a closed dot, we have to use the or equal to. So x is greater than or equal to negative 4. Okay, interval notation, it starts at negative 4 and it goes to positive infinity. It does equal negative 4, so we use a bracket. It does not equal infinity, so we use a parenthesis. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.